Yo, what up everybody? Long time no see. What's it been? A few months? So, I said during a stream that I would make a guide for this game if it ever came out to English. And, well, here we are. A promise is a promise, and here's a guide. Don't expect anything too crazy. I don't know how to make these, and quite frankly, I'm a little nervous making it. That said, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to do is, after the tutorial, you're going to get a free roll where you get a free 3-star. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to be going through a reroll guide of sorts where I kind of just go over who I recommend rolling for, based on either difficulty getting their stuff, or just units in general that are pretty good. Alright, and with that out of the way, let's get right into it. So, as soon as you have free reign of doing what you want, here's what you should do. The first thing that you should do is try to clear the story as fast as possible. Clearing the story lets you unlock more nodes, where you can farm more gear, so you can give it to your characters to level them up. Okay, so let's go over the first part of this, which is combat. In this game, combat basically just goes on its own. Every character has a set of skills that they use in a certain rotation that I will cover in a different video, probably in the spotlights that I want to do. But just know that every character will cycle through their skills in a different order, alternating between skills and attacks. Now, there are two different modes for this game, which is auto, which is what most of you are probably going to be doing most of the time, and manual. So in auto mode, the characters will automatically use their UBs and just in general just do what they want. In manual mode, they will still cycle through their skills and attack patterns, but it will be up to you to decide when you unleash their UBs. Now, for those of you that don't know what UBs are, UB are basically this game's version of a Noble Phantasm if you played Grand Order, where it's a powerful skill or attack that this character can only use. So for example, in Pekarine's case, Pekarine's UB is Princess Strike. Princess Strike will hit the enemy in the front doing some amount of damage, and also give her a magic and physical defense buff. Setting up your team according to what skills everyone has and what UBs they have is pretty much essential for trying to get through the game. Some nodes in this game are very hard and require you to have a certain setup, and if not a certain setup, then a certain set of skills for you to get through. And with the basics of combat out of the way, let's get into what you need to be doing. So the first thing you need to do is actually clear the story. Clear the story as far as you can. Reason being, once you clear story, you unlock more nodes to farm gear. Gear is what you give your characters in order to level up their rank, and also just increase their overall stats. Now, every character in this game is limited to how high of a level they can go based on your own player level. So if your player level is, let's say, 10, your characters can only reach level 10. Likewise with their skills. All skills scale according to whatever level the character is. Now, here's a list of things that you unlock from doing story. So by clearing World 2-1, you will unlock the Guild House. The Guild House is something akin to, if you've played Azure Lane, a dorm room, where you could set your characters down, decorate their dorm, and the dorm is where you have these items that regenerate stamina, mana, skip tickets, and like a few other things. Another thing that you can do in the Guild House is also feed them snacks to raise characters' bond levels. Bond levels in this game are pretty important since they give you free side content for you to read, free jewels, and on top of that, just a base increase to that character's stats depending on which character it is. Everyone gets a different stat boost depending on what they are. Some tanks get HP boosts, other people who are attackers get attack boosts. So remember to bond up your characters. Now, clearing 2-5 will unlock the Grotto. The Grotto is split into two different things. The first one being the EXP Grotto. The EXP Grotto lets you farm this node twice a day for XP potions. The other one is the Mana Grotto. The Mana Grotto lets you get mana, which is this game's currency. You need mana for everything from equipping gear, to leveling up characters, to ranking them up, and also starring them up. you need tons of mana. So I would recommend focusing on 5 to 6 core characters that you want to actually work on and level them up, because mana hell is real. Clearing 212 will unlock the dungeon. Dungeons are a series of battles against other characters where you slowly climb to the top to go fight the final boss. In the dungeon, you can earn mana, gear, fragments, and also dungeon coins. Dungeon coins are extremely important because in the shop, you could actually spend these dungeon coins for fragments of characters so you could star them up. Clearing World 3-1 will unlock the clan tab. The clan tab is where, you guessed it, you could join a clan. So clans are something that you could either make on your own or join. Clans are also very important since at the end of every month, there's a thing called a clan battle. Clan battles are basically a cycle of bosses that you and your clanmates team up to take down. You get tons of rewards out of this, such as jewels, fragments, gear, and mana. Clans are also useful for asking for help. If you ever need a piece of gear, go ahead and request it in the clan tab and people can donate pieces of gear to you. You could also greet one of your members once per day for a little bit of extra stamina and some money. Another thing that you can do in the clan tab is you could set a support for dungeons and clan battles. Clearing 4-6 will unlock Arena. Arena is where you set a team of 5 to defend, and a good place to get jewels. Basically, you set up a team of 5 and you face off against other teams of 5 that other people have set up. Going up through the ranks is a great way to get jewels. The higher your rank, the more stuff you regenerate at the end of the day. The higher your rank, the more jewels you get, the more arena tokens you get, and the more mana you get. Arena tokens are useful because you can go to the shop and actually purchase more fragments for different characters in the PvP shop. Now, clearing 8-15 will unlock Princess Arena. It's basically the same thing as regular Arena, however, this requires you to have 3 teams of 5 to properly go through. So at this point, you would need to have 3 teams of 5 characters. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but you know what? It's fine. The rewards for this are also the exact same. You get plenty of jewels, you get plenty of arena tokens, and also this has its own tab in the shop that has different characters that you can buy fragments for. So, currently, I'm making this video from before the actual launch of the game. As of now, World 9 has not been released. However, by clearing 9-1, you'll unlock Luna Tower. Luna Tower is a thing that comes around once a month, where you fight your way to the top of this tower. Each floor grants you a ton of rewards such as jewels, fragments, gear, and princess hearts. Now, I don't know what the actual translation will be for the official launch, but I'm just going to stick with princess hearts. These things are extremely useful, and I'll be mentioning them in probably another video that won't be right now, because as of yet, I don't think the launch of the game will have characters have their exclusive equipment, or even the ability to 6-star. So clearing 9-2 will unlock the Sanctum Servey. Again, I'm not going to go too far into detail into this, but this also is a way for you to farm princess hearts. And a bit later, I don't know what the actual translation is, but it's these pink orb things with like yellow feathers. I don't know how to properly explain this beyond the fact that you use these way later to 6-star a character, which I'm pretty sure we're not getting at the launch of the game, so we're just gonna skip over this for now. Alright, so let's get into how to strengthen a character. So like I said earlier, all your character's levels are restricted to how high your own player character level is. Now, how to level. Every character can be leveled up via XP potions and a little bit of mana. However, if you're low on mana and constantly broke like me, you could do it the old-fashioned way, which is to take your characters into a story fight, and instead of using skip tickets, you just do it normally. Just let it run. All your characters will get bond, and on top of that will also get XP. So if you don't mind taking a little bit of extra time out of your day, you could definitely level up your characters that way. Now, I mentioned earlier that you could star people up. Now, For that, you're going to need fragments. Fragments are available in the shop, in hard mode stages, the dungeon, events, and also purchasable with divine amulets, the things that you get from getting dupes in the gacha. Now here's how starring up works. So, for a 1-star character to become a 2-star character, you need 30 fragments of that character to rank them up to 2-star. From there, you need 100 to go to 3-star. From 3-star to 4-star, you need 120, and from 4-star to 5-star, you need 150. Again, I'm not going to go into what resources you need to 6-star someone, because I don't think that will be available, so we'll just ignore that for now. Alright, so at the beginning of the video I did say I was going to go through some of the 3-stars that you could roll at the beginning of the game. So I'm just going to do just a quick fire, here are these characters that you can get, and why maybe you will consider them. Alright, so I'm going to start off with number 1, Makoto. So Makoto is a frontline attacker who has a very high attack stat. She comes with 2 defense downs in her kit, one of them on a skill and the other one on her UB. She's very good in boss fights considering that she could do a lot of damage to them. The only problem is that she is a little squishy, so babysitting her is a priority. Bring along healers, bring along people that could also use taunt. Speaking of taunt, here's number 2, Nozomi. Nozomi is a really good tank who focuses more on tanking magic damage and also drawing the attention away from other characters. Her UB inflicts taunt on the enemies, making everyone attack her instead of your parties for a little bit. It also increases her own magic and physical defense. Another piece of utility that Nozomi has is that she has a frontline stun that stuns everyone in front of her about a second or two. This is extremely useful in PvP. She also has an AoE heal that, while not too strong, does definitely contribute to keeping everyone alive. Next up is Shizuru. So Shizuru is also a frontline tank slash support hybrid who is not only good at face tanking a bunch of damage as a subs tank, but also is an extremely good support for whoever is your actual tank. For example, pairing her up with Pecorine makes Pecorine way harder to kill, since Shizuru can deploy a physical defense barrier that absorbs a little bit of physical damage and also packs a heal that targets the person with the lowest HP. Her UB does a decent bit of damage, but also deploys an absorption barrier onto herself that's a lot bigger than the one on her skill. She's also just generally useful in most physical team comps. Alright, so moving away from the front lines is number 4, Saren. So Saren is a really good general physical attacker, whose UB does damage to everyone in the front line, and also scales with how low her HP is. One of her skills is also an all frontline hitting attack that doesn't do as much damage as her UB, but is really good at clearing out chunks of enemies. She also packs a TP regeneration skill that targets the nearest ally, increasing their TP, making them spam their UB a little bit faster. Moving further away from the front line, we're moving on to the back line, and number 4 is Hatsune. Hatsune spells the beginning of the end for a lot of PvP teams in Princess Connect. Hatsune is a really good AoE magic unit who has a UB that targets everybody, with a bonus damage modifier that deals extra damage to people that only deal physical damage. So as you could probably imagine, this is extremely good against physical enemies. Anything that doesn't deal magic damage, Dunskies. She's also extremely good in PvP since she has a skill that targets the person with the highest attack on the enemy team and stuns them. One of her other skills is also the fact that she just deals a crap ton of damage to whoever it just has the highest attack. And last is, I think, the only support that's available right now in terms of 3 stars, which is Maho. Maho isn't an attacker. Maho is a very good magic support unit. Her UB increases everyone's magic and physical defense, and also increases everyone's TP gauge by just a bit. Her first skill is a pretty decent heal that hits the person with the lowest HP. And her second skill, which is the most infuriating, is a skill that blinds the second enemy from the front. So in other words, she makes it to where whoever is not the very first enemy in line just whiffs all of their attacks. Which is, what you might imagine, pretty annoying in both PvP and in dungeon runs when you accidentally run into a Maho. Alright, and here we are at the end of the video. I'll tell you what, this is kind of weird to record. I'm a lot better at explaining things when I actually have someone in front of me to explain it to, but at this point I'm just kind of just being crazy and recording this hoping that I have an imaginary person to talk to. That said, that'll do it for this guide. Be on the lookout for spotlights specifically for the 4 characters that you start with, which are Pecorine, Kokoro, Kyaru, and Yui. Those should be coming out sometime between now and like a week from now. One at a time. Slowly. Oh boy. Anyway, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you all in, I guess, the next one. Bye!